Okay. I just got off work. I'm so tired. I gotta stop wearing these shoes. I just bought some new tennis shoes or whatever, but they like more like tennis shoes to like wear like with a sporty cute outfit. They not to work in because they fit tight around my toes. Woo! Anyway, okay. So I just want to say this. First of all, how do I say this in a decent way? One way you could tell that that you're removing toxicity away from your life and that you're not the problem other people are, is that when you separate yourself, if you go up or down. Like when I've separated myself from a lot of people and I cut a lot of people in my family off or just stop going around gatherings or feeling this way or just around toxic people or whatever. Even when I stopped listening to certain readers online, not all, I'm talking about certain ones that I know like to say little slick stuff in their reading or whatever. Sometimes I go back and peek and I be like, oh, they still on that silly stuff because it's just in their character to do that, but that's them. But one thing I realized or whatever is that when people know that you, with empaths or whatever, and I told you guys before, empaths can be very, very dangerous because when you're messing with a person, especially like an earth angel, empaths can be very, very dangerous because we have a kind, loving heart. We don't have no bad intent. I can't stretch that more. I don't know how much I could twist that term. It's just clear. Empaths are very, very sensitive. You can come up to an empath and you'll be able to tell right away they're an empath. Me, sorry. I have a very quiet demeanor, but I have a very friendly, like, sort of look. That's not like, I don't have like a ghetto type of look, or not even just ghetto, like a seductive type of look or whatever. Even when I used to dress real low cut, it's just something about me. You can just tell I have like that little ditzy, I used to have that little ditzy free attitude, and I still have it, but it's masked a lot because I have like a hard exterior now. But all I want to say is this. It's certain things that I just be hearing and reading. And sometimes I'll be like, well, maybe they could be talking about another Aries. And then sometimes they'll say so specifically, and I know they're talking to me. Let me just say this. When you get gang stalked, I don't, like I said before, it's certain things I be hearing from certain readers. And one reader, I went off the other day, whatever, just agitated, and I'll explain it in a minute. But I hear a certain reader saying somebody was interested in you, but now they're not interested anymore because you show another side of you when you're angry. Okay, if for somebody to see me get angry and they feel that way, then you would never for me. So just stay over there. So we just said it. But anyway, I don't know who they was talking about, but whatever. Just keep it that way forever. But this is how I feel. First of all, I can always tell people who talk or whatever if they're a true empath or if they've ever really been gang stalked. If you've ever been gang stalked and it's going on for on and on. Remember, it's never the same person. It can't be the same person every day, but it's groups of people doing different stuff, watching in cahoots, blah blah. When you're going through something like that and you're talking about it online and nobody's helping, nobody's supporting it, it's like what it does is it kind of like it puts you kind of like in a oh really, it's like you gang stalking is meant to drive you crazy, and then it's like they do that to try to get a reaction out of you, and because they know that you don't really know who it is, but you know who it is, but you don't never see the main two culprits or whatever. It's like you just know or whatever. It's just like that. I have some really strange neighbors or whatever. I told you one of the guys with that loud silly laugh or whatever. It's a lot. But when you doing that, you online talking about it, and you see, and then you still see people taking digs, taking shots. First of all, people who do stuff like that are not really getting gang stalked. I'm not talking about people, my clapbacks or whatever, people that purposely say disrespectful stuff. I'm talking about people just sit up there, they see you getting gang stalked. Oh, people like that are not getting gang stalked. They're putting on the front. They just know how to talk a good game. You'll very soon see the character of people. But when you get gang stalked, it's hard to trust anybody because number one, you know you're being watched. You know you're being followed. They do it in a subtle way. Then it's like anybody coming up to you, and I've had several people come up to me by being sent by exes, and I got that confirmed months back when I called it out before. Then I'll go and get it confirmed from a readers that I go to, and they'll be like, "This must be," and they'll be like, "Yeah, somebody sent somebody up to you." It's like I already know. So anybody coming up to you, especially if they have like if they're real low vibrational, it's like you automatically think somebody on some BS. It's certain things, like I said, I don't lash out at everybody. You have to come at me in order to make me lash out at you or whatever. It's just. I don't know how to really explain it because I have a very, very sweet, pleasant attitude. I just don't like what people be on BS or whatever. You do something to me that's disrespectful that I don't like, then it's just like certain. And I'm not trying to be rude, but it's certain people I don't be wanting to speak to me. People come up, I can be nice. I don't mind seeing somebody if I see a woman that looks cute or pretty or her makeup, I'll be like, you look pretty or I like your hair, blah blah blah. It's certain people or whatever I don't want talking to me. Empaths, genuine empaths, and this is not all the time, but empaths are earth angels, as you could say, have a tendency to walk fast. I've heard this is earth angels. They have a tendency to walk fast, move fast sometimes. And to other people, it's awkward, but to us, it's not awkward. I move fast, especially like when I'm at work. I go, and it may be overly fast, but like I said before, when you're talking about an earth angel, you act differently from other people. So to me, I'm not really moving fast. I'm just working, and I love to organize. Other people may see it and be like, "Oh, she doing too much," or but that's just me. It's like I love organizing. When I used to go in stores when I was younger, I used to like to sometimes organize stuff or whatever. Way back when I was younger, it was fun to me. So I like doing stuff like that. But other people be like, it's awkward. You're an angel in a human body, so I'm saying the sort of things that irritate me. Like guys, I don't know what it is. It never used to be like this. I think after that narc and getting gang stalked, I get turned off real quick. First of all, if I'm not in a relationship with a dude, I don't give a damn, and I'm trying not to say curse words, but I'm going back to that guy at the bus stop the other day. It's like I feel like a demon got in him to purposely, or somebody sent him to try to purposely piss me off, because it's like I'm just sitting at the bus stop. He came over there, just being all negative, demonic spirit, talking about the girl, the gay girl or whatever he saw, and then she walked off, and then he got on. I don't even know if he noticed I was wearing makeup or not, or weave or whatever. But he had to, but he just said that it pissed me off. Then I got up, I checked him in a decent type of way and let him know that was offensive. I said, you really think God would approve if you did that? Blah, 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 blah. Then I got up and walked to the next bus stop so I wouldn't end up going off or whatever. Because he acted like he was delusional and he didn't understand that was disrespectful. Then he got up and walked toward. That's what I said. People, it's like the demons can get inside of people. It's just spirits. Remember, we are surrounded by, this is a spiritual world. We're in our physical bodies, but it's spirits that roam around us that we can't see. That's why when people get drunk or on drugs, it's like they act differently. Yeah, the drug and the alcohol is make you act a certain type of way, but when you get on that type of stuff like drunk, I'm not talking about drinking or smoking. People do whatever they want to do. But when you do certain things like that, you open yourself up to certain spirits. That's why people act differently, and you do certain things that's questionable, or that's not really in your character or whatever. So it's just like people. I'm trying to say what else sort of things that piss me off. So if people can think whatever they want to do, it's just my diary. I'm just venting, but it's like people do certain things, and it's like you check them. And number one, I don't like anybody telling me something that's not sleeping with me or that's not my boyfriend, even though I'm celibate. But it's certain things. Like if I had a boyfriend, he tell me something, if I respect him and we're in a respected relationship, we together, he could tell me stuff and I'm gonna listen right away or whatever if I know he right. And I'm not no in all be all. People can think whatever they want to think. If I'm in a relationship with a partner, I'm gonna respect you till you give me a reason not to respect you. So that's how it is. But when I go in stores, like I said, I move fast. It'll be a guy, like the other day. It was a guy, older guy in the store, and he was telling me slow down or whatever. It's like I don't unless I'm in a situation like I'm in a work situation and the boss tell me that's fine. But I don't like people coming up to me telling me that. That's like me. And it's like sometimes I feel like you shouldn't have to explain to people. If I see a guy in the store or something like that and he accidentally slipped, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, you okay? Be careful. But I ain't going to see nobody walking fast and be like, hey, slow down or what. I'm not going to, that's not my place. I don't even know. It's like, I feel like people be too comfortable doing that to empaths. And number one, I have a certain type of look to me that's a decent type of look or whatever. And it's like if he saw somebody like Ronnie from Players Club, and I'm not saying just because of the ghetto, but that you better not tell me no, run me my money, like all that stuff. They don't try people like that, and that's what irritates me. I would never see a guy walking or just in general in front of me in line of the store. He can't find his change, and I'm like, you need to, next time you come to the store, have your change ready before. It's like it's people just just do intrusive stuff and it irritates me. Now, like I said before, if it was a boyfriend or one of his father or something telling me that, I'll be like, okay, because it's like a place of concern. But people just do stuff, and other people may not get bothered by that. They can just ignore it. Empaths on a certain level, when we get triggered, it's like usually back to back people. It's like a lot of narcs usually back to back on the empath, just like they did Hazel. That's how it is with me. It's like, how can you trust anybody like that? When people comment certain things on my channel, and I'm not trying to be rude, because if people know, they know. If they didn't know, they didn't know. If you being sarcastic if you being sarcastic just to be ugly for no reason or whatever, that's on you. But people are coming on my channel and say stuff like, they'll tell me to talk up, and that's fine. I've been told that before. I have no problem with that. Any type of correction or something like that that's helpful, I'll know better to try to talk more, because I know people are interested or want to know. But then you'll say something like, next time record in your car. But you see on my channel that I'm getting on the bus and stuff like that. So in my mind, I'm like, is somebody trying to be funny? Because that's why one thing with me, I get mad when people take shots, but it don't hurt me no more. That's why I'm able to bounce back in a funny type of way, because all my life, it's like all my life, it's just, and people will only take those type of digs at you when they intimidated by you. That video I made the other day about Whoopi Goldberg or whatever, silly tarot reader. She likes to poke the bear and play little games. Remember, this is the Earth Angel. She's supposed to be a guardian angel, the Messiah or whatever. She'll do certain things on her channel and just say certain things, try to get a reaction out of people. But then she on there talking about karmics and people working against people and jealous of people and this and that. But that's why I said after a certain extent, it becomes my fault, because I know she's silly, but I'm still watching her. But then sometimes I just be looking at people and I be like, not with my nose turned up, but I just be like, this world is so lost. A Messiah with her titties out or whatever, keep making jabs at a real high person with a real high spiritual rank and a real archangel, and trying to that's why I say people just do certain. It's another girl with a big booty or whatever, and I'm not finna get into everything. Of course, I haven't recorded it like in 2-3 days or whatever. I'm kind of just getting back on, but it's another girl with a big booty or whatever, and I called her out before. She said the real silly stuff in her reading that she had no business calling out, just disrespectful stuff, silly stuff or whatever, and twisted and stuff. And then it's like you call her out, she'll be like, I'm just helping. Have her titties all the way out, hair over her titties or whatever, so they won't show. But she'll be in a reading talking about, I'm looking at a cross-watcher reading. She'll be in a reading talking about, somebody blah, 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 this, and their ex doesn't want them. Then she'll go to another reading and then totally say I'm an earth. And that's what I say, people just do real silly, demonic, stupid stuff. And when people do stuff like that, it's like you just already show me that you're not really a person of God. You have to be only a demonic, evil, satanic person would do something like that. So that's why I said it's like, now when it happens so much, it's like now I finally, I think it's today, I just kind of, and I don't know if it's because I just got out of work and I'm tired, but it's suppressed me so much, and I've had it so much that it's just like, okay, or whatever. Instead of just me blowing up and cussing people out or whatever, or getting real mad and angering myself, I just be like, okay. And it's like it just shuts you down. It kind of makes you kind of cold-hearted. Another thing, now, I have my favorite reader or whatever. I have my own favorite. When I say right now, I have my favorite reader. But other readers, it's like, I don't like when people talk about, like I said, I don't know if they talking about another Aries, talk about apologize to your parents. What the hell do I look like going to my mom? First of all, my dad is dead, so I have one parent or whatever, and she shouldn't even call herself a parent. What the hell do I look like? What would I apologize to my mom for? That's why I try to ask. What the hell do I look like going to my family, apologize? Them niggas left me for dead, plotted on my death, talked about me, and it's certain, like I said, I'm able to put certain things together. I'll hear certain things like, it was a time when I first got on my platform, first started doing it, I started losing my wallet back to back, and I was like, why am I looking? Then later on I found out somebody was doing, they said a karmic was doing clumsy spells on me, and I was like, nah. When I really thought about it now, I'm like, why would a karmic do clumsy spells on it? When I thought about it, I'm like, nah, that's a relative of mine. When I found out I had relatives that were doing black magic on me and act like they not a part of it, they don't understand what's going on, I was like, oh, somebody doing black clumsy spells on me so I could lose stuff, to come and ask them for something, then I can, and when I get it, they can go and talk about me. That's the only way that makes sense. I have very, very high intuition, and it's like certain things that I just know that people be doing that I don't even really want to fully get on that online. Just people have a very, very deceptive spirit. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not into Christianity. I've never met a real Christian that stood on what they said. Every Christian I've ever met has said long prayers, talked in tongues, or blah 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 blah, and totally been opposite for what they stood for. I've never met a real Christian spiritually or whatever. I don't go to church. I'm highly spiritual. What saved me is just God, just in general. I cried out to God one day, please help me. Cried out, just cried, and He heard my cry, and He uplifted me, and He separated me and showed me the truth about people. So I want to say this: I would never ever apologize to I apologized to my mother several times when I was lost and looking for love, and I didn't understand why this, why that. First of all, for you to even be scapegoated and for you to even have been abused, and I'm not just talking about physical, I'm talking about just in general, abused, mistreated, whatever, manipulated. For you to even be able to be in a relationship with certain people like that and feel and not feel okay being treated that way, but keep going over and over beyond for somebody that's not treating you right, that goes further than black magic. That's because you were raised lacking something or something happened to you and you just feel like that's what you deserve or whatever. It's like you know what I'm saying? So I would never apologize. What the hell do I look like apologizing to somebody like that? Then another thing, people talking about people helping you out if money is being hidden from me or whatever, and I don't even think it's just about life insurance. I think it's something else. Like I've heard inheritance. It just like I said before, nobody's telling me nothing. So if that was being hidden from me, what the hell do I look like apologizing when I could have been on my feet and stuff like this? Like a lot of people just do certain things. People been doing magic on me for years. I know I heard of a relative that I used to be close to was a secret enemy. Didn't really like me, was jealous of you, blah 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 secretly, and helped you, act like she was there for you, and talk about you behind your back the whole time, but then make it seem like that's why I said people just do certain things. I heard she was doing certain things on my hair way back or whatever, long time. Just like people just do silly stuff, and it turns you. What it does is it turns you cold. I'm not no mean person. I do not like BS or whatever. Anybody coming at me, it's like when you know you had magic over your channel, it's no real support. Anybody pop up out the blue with a compliment, or even if it's just like a comment saying something like, one time it was months back, I had said I'm finna get off or whatever, and people just weren't coming. Every now and then they'll come in, which I appreciate those comments. But then I'll get a comment out of nowhere when I say I'm finna take it down. They'll be like, no, keep going, but won't press like or nothing. It's also this, so it's like it's weird, but it's like. That's what I said. It's when you get gang stalked, and anybody who has get gang stalked, you always on edge. And after you stop getting on edge, it kind of hardens your heart and make you be like, oh, okay, so I'm in this by myself. Now I see kind of how people can get rich and be like, F the world. Like you don't want to help nobody, especially if nobody helped you or whatever. It just turns your heart kind of cold. I'll never be in a relationship with somebody and get with a new person and be like, treat them and dog them out the way that I feel like I've been done or whatever. And because I know that, number one, that's just not in me to do that, because I know what it feels like, and that's going to be karma for me. But it's just that I just would never do that. It just shuts you off. It's like anybody coming up to me, I just be looking at them like they full of shit. I'm just being honest. Now, certain people, I'm not talking about people you meet and greet and just be like, hi, but any guy coming up to me, it's like I just, and it could be that they just full of shit or whatever. It could really just be that they full of shit. Because if I, the way I am, and I know I'm real, somebody come up to me real, it's like I'm just gonna know it. People play game, all that silly ass shit. I don't, excuse my language, I just don't have time for that anymore. Trying to see if I addressed everything. Yeah, it's like people just say stuff, and it's like you change, and people falling behind you. Remember, you used to do this. Remember, you used to do that. Oh, but okay. Keep that or whatever, because I have my record of people that I feel like have wronged me or whatever. Keep that, but don't forget what you did too, and then just keep it moving. Like I don't even understand how relatives could even do something like that. It's like, I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm finna check that when people say certain things or whatever that I know that they not telling the full truth or whatever, or they just going by. I don't know what people doing. All I know is that after being gang stalked, after being left for dead, and God rolls you up and had your back or whatever, and you had to rise up and get yourself together, and he helped you, it's only him and the angels surround you that help you. You don't really be fucking with people like that. I'm just being honest. it's certain people, they'll be like, oh, this person doesn't know their worth, blah 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 blah. I've heard several readers say that. I know my worth. If I didn't know my worth, I'd be back with a stupid knucklehead and been dating anybody. I'm isolated. I'm introverted. People will still lie on me. Oh, she has people in and out of her house. People just put stuff on you when they can't find nothing. If they can't find nothing, they're gonna bring up on you and talk. People just do silly demonic stuff. It's certain readers. They'll you get your one reader specifically that I really like. And like I said, I will not say who yet or whatever, because people have a tendency to try to go, not the readers, but other people, they'll try to go pry, and they just do like silly stuff. But one reader is like, every time I go there, she has something uplifting to say, and it boosts me up, and it just makes me feel like I could go on or whatever. Just one in particular. In other readers, it's like, not all. I'm not talking about all of it, but some readers I go to, and they'll pump you up, and they'll put a dig in there and say something silly, and then as an empath, you're very sensitive. I'll never stay down for long, but it affects you differently. Other people can hear that, just let it bounce off of them. Empaths, it hurts us for a little bit. It might enrage us. We get online and say something. Then after a while, it's like, but that's still embedded in your mind that they said it. Then they'll switch and be like, well, it's just like people just do like real silly narcissistic stuff. So it's just like, but then they'll be like, oh, this person doesn't. But it's like women can be so catty. That's why I don't really like being around them and stuff like that. I don't really be on the same level with a lot of women, unless they're empath or true empath. Because it's like, it's just the conversation is just be like, oh, okay, it's like we don't really be on the same level. Anybody that's kind of not on what I'm on, and I'm not just talking about the secret transgender stuff. I'm talking about really just being able to see demons in people and know that people are fake and all the other stuff. It's like we ain't got nothing to talk about. If you somebody that like to put on for other people, to press other niggas who don't matter, we don't have nothing to talk about. It's just, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to talk like in a street type way, but it's just like, it's real serious. People just do certain stuff, and it just kind of, after a while, it's like, okay, time not to get enraged anymore. Now it's just like, you ever been kind of like, how you said, when your heart chakra, it's like your heart kind of turns cold. And because I never dog anybody, it's like I just don't want to be bothered anymore. I'm just being honest. It's like I struggle by myself. It's like you're like, this is going on, and it's like you have to do stuff by yourself. So it's like, that's all I have to say. Is the bus look like it's getting ready to come. So that's all I have to say for now.